I'm never gonna fall in love again. I'm never gonna fall in love again. Fall in love. I'm never gonna fall in love. Again. Do you wonder why so many people are dying of cancer? It's not from something they were forced to inject several years ago, is it? Probably not. Probably not. You got to follow the science. You got to follow the science. Got to follow the science. Follow the science. All right, so the prices, the scores around the league. Nixie is down 7. Oh my gosh, why is it down? What's wrong? Well, there's a little bit going on with Nixie. 173, 175. Finger is in the green. It's up 3 cents, 410 to 418. It was as high as 438. Rumors swirling. I'm not supportive of any rumors. So don't make any decisions because you're hearing things. I think it's better to wait until we have the annual report. I don't think anything major is going to happen with the company until then, but I could be wrong. That's only a week away. So all I'm saying is wait a week. G-Bucks is down. We found out yesterday from a couple of people put it up, thankfully. I'm thankful. They moved the distribution date on the dividend. So there's time for them to get that deal done. GME is up. So you guys who've been saying it was going to rally are correct. I was wrong. But I still think they'll take advantage of any rally to do a deal. Railtown, Monday it was 22 cents. And I suggested that it was cheap because Canada was closed. Well, today it's almost 32 cents. It's 31.79. It's a nice move, but it's not over. Railtown isn't over with. You'll probably be, since you're a human being, you'll probably be more interested in buying it now that it's up. It's a very human reaction. We all do it. I've been in love so many times before. Let's see if oh boy, oil's going down. So Novak Djokovic won today, and he plays Herbie Hurkacz tomorrow at 9 a.m. If he wins tomorrow, he will have won his 100th ATP title at age 38. No one likes him. They all like Nadal and Federer, but those guys are retired. And now they love Alcaraz, but there's nobody better than Djokovic. He was born in 1987. Wow. That's before Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. Saddam. Here you go, Corey. That's exactly right. There's, I forget the name of the doctor, but he said he used to get 1 or 2 cases of that a year. Now he sees hundreds. What's it from? It's terrible. From the PNW, I guess that means Pacific Northwest. Oh my gosh, 2 days dropping. That's got to be a sign. That's got to be a sign. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Why is it going down? Oh my gosh, Nixie, 2 days it's been down. And you've been promoting it, as Stony Bones would say. Promoting. Anything that goes down, he says, I'm promoting. If it goes up, it's his idea. He invests in it. Nixie is 170,000 shares. And yeah, you can shadow call. You can assume that that's bad news. I don't care. Do what you want. 2 days it's going down. So that must mean something, right, shadow call? It's just you guys shorting the stock. That's all it is. There was some news on the company, which I read the other day. Yesterday is not the other day, is it? And they had some news 6 hours ago, Nixie did. So let's read that. Ended March 31, recorded 1.39 million in revenue. That's got to be bad news. Got to sell it off. When combined with 2 days dropping. Oh my God, 2 days dropping. Oh, the horror. 2 days dropping. Time to panic. The strong start marks a turning point in the company's transformation as it pivots to AI-powered infrastructure, platform-based services, and scalable data systems aligned with fast-growing demand in the communications sector. Nixie's entry into the AI-powered voice and messaging space is backed by targeted acquisitions and a platform strategy designed for speed and scale. With early contract wins already contributing to top-line results, the company is executing on a roadmap focused on accelerating recurring revenue, optimizing cost structures, and delivering long-term value for shareholders. April 2025 marked Nixie's first full month of operations under its new model. First full month of operations under its new model, generating unaudited revenue of 1.4 million. Building on this strong momentum, internal forecasts suggest continued growth in May, with projections indicating that May revenue could potentially double April's results. This is for Nixie, which is 2 days dropping. Contingent. You guys got to stop listening to this crap. The price of these companies doesn't mean anything. You get shadow call just selling, selling, selling. It's not a real market. So they've got finalized results coming. Nixie is actively leveraging the AI platforms and contractual assets gained through its recent acquisitions in March and April, providing a scalable foundation for onboarding new traffic and expanding service capacity. These platforms also support a new layer of AI-driven services such as intelligent call routing, automated settlement optimization, and advanced customer engagement tools, all further strengthening Nixie's competitive position in the market. Nixie is focused on disciplined execution, says the former third baseman of the Philadelphia Phillies, Mike Schmidt. With early revenue traction and a well-defined strategy in place, we are confident in our ability to scale efficiently and deliver sustainable long-term growth. Oh, 2 days dropping. 2 days dropping. Oh no, 2 days dropping. Our aim is to establish Nixie as a leader in AI-powered communications infrastructure, serving enterprise, wholesale, and next-generation platforms. So that just came out 6 hours ago, but 2 days dropping. Oh my gosh, 2 days dropping. Nixie also, there's some stuff on Twitter. I'm not going to go click it because then I'll lose all the conversation. I'll just read it to you. So Nick DD, I don't know who that is, posted, NIXX, that's all we're waiting for now from the new CEO. I also expect, I guess he's talking about updates, I guess. I also expect some stock and company awareness from a new consulting company. They received over 500,000 shares to talk about the company at $1.63. Well, I guess you can't listen to them because they got paid. Shadow Call doesn't get paid. He doesn't benefit. He's just here to help you. That's all he is. This is what DD said. NIXX, most likely we will get CEO update June 2nd. In my opinion, April and May run rates will both be in with commercial SMS in full swing. Look for a 5+ in June. That's DD. I've been in love so many times before. NIXX today was a small plug. There was a small plug, PR, on Q1. This is also off of Twitter. I'm waiting for a June update on real numbers, April and May, including SMS commercial division. I also want to see an update on plans for $1 raise. Private placement with insiders is how I would approach this. I don't know who said this. I think it's that same DD guy. That's how he would do it. And we know he knows what he's talking about. Again. Anyway, all right. I'm not feeling too revved up. Dr. Pierre Corey and Peter, that's it. The one I remember is Peter McCullough. That's one. Where's the hamster? I'm gonna ignore you for the rest of the afternoon, Silver Mind Card. If you need the hamster to watch me, just go about your business. Just go about your business. Driving to Toledo Bend. Wow. Holy Toledo, Batman. God, you guys read everything. Lower volume in finger, good sign, bad sign, no sign, cosine, sign on the dotted line. That's pretty good volume. 400,000 shares, pretty solid volume. Look, I think there's just one of three outcomes for Finger. One, after this volume and being up, that Roth Capital comes in and does a deal down 30%. Two, some other big event we don't know about, or some other big raise we don't know about, or a JV that we don't know about comes to fruition, changing the company. Or three, we're in the middle of a short squeeze, and that can happen combined with one or two, but that's it. And if you're watching every single day, lower volume, is that a bad sign? I don't know what to tell you. I would go with the company raising money through Roth Capital as the most likely outcome. But there's there's rumors of swirling, and who knows? I don't think you should have faith in any of the rumors that are out there. I got 12,500 at 23 cents on Monday. Wow. So you have 212,000 shares of Railtown, is that right? I got 12,500 at 23 on Monday. That's all I had to play with that day. 212,000 shares later. Steve, people are going to have to call you sir. What if that goes to $5? I'm not saying it'll happen overnight, but what if it goes to $5? That's pretty pounceable. What if it goes to $3? It's pretty jumping. The catfish will be jumping. GME looking great. Turbo Cancer, exactly, Turbo Cancer. I've been in love so many times. Toledo win. All right, so there's not a lot of questions, so everyone's feeling just about as enthusiastically as I am. Well, let me try it. I really am not pumped up. I don't know why, but let me just try to emphasize a couple of things. Everybody only wants to be in stocks when they're going up, when everybody's on board, when they're part of a crowd. And I'm so happy for Steve. He bought Railtown at 23 cents on Monday, and the stock right now is last trade 31 cents. It's a nice trade so far. I'm unable to get a chart on Railtown that makes any sense because they printed it. I use stock charts, and somebody printed however many shares at a penny. So all you see is this big line and then a drop all the way to the bottom of the page, back up, and it's almost a horizontal line. So it's almost useless as a chart. But I think what Railtown is going to do, they've had, I read this the other day. Let's see what Burt Bacharach. I'll never fall again. Oh, Eric Carmen? I don't know who wrote it. All right. RLAIF stock. Okay, so a day ago, they announced they're going to present their product Lang tracks at the Upper Bound conference, which ends today. And then 2 days ago, they announced that they're doing this powerful Visual Studio extension as a launch. But they also said they're hiring a marketing company, and I'm sure that marketing company is going to get paid. So you don't want to listen to them. I mean, that's what Stony Bones and the other guy that was on here, I forget his name right now, telling if people get paid, you don't want to listen to them. Better to listen to people that don't get paid. Listen to a shoe shine boy or a guy on the street corner. It's better to do that. Anyway, they also announced 3 months ago that they're going to buy an MOU to acquire AI Partnership Corp. Well, it's pretty big thing. And I think with the way the stock is starting to trade, you've got 350,000 shares, albeit that's not a lot of money because it's only a 30-cent stock. But I think Railtown, you're going to start seeing some news. So my projection on Railtown would be $1.20 first, and then 350. I don't know how long it'll take, and it could go higher. It could go higher. And then Nixie at $1.74 to $1.75, sorry, bid to $1.78. I think it's a great buy. There's some things that are happening that are out in the public, but I'd rather not bring it up until it engages. It's not a big deal. It's just operational stuff. Operational in terms of how the stock trades, but it's not a big deal. It'll all clarify next week. But I think Nixie is cheap. I don't see a lot of risk. This guy's shadow boxing thinks it's bad that it's down for 2 days. Well, I don't know what to say about that. $1.74, I think, is the limit of the risk in the stock. And of course, as soon as I say that, it can always spike down. But I think Nixie is an $8. Well, once it starts to go, I think it's $6, no problem. If it busts through 650, it's $8, $10, $12. And I think that all can happen fairly quickly. Damn. So I would be buying Nixie, but the human reaction is if it's down for 2 days, things are bad, and I'm not going to buy till it's up to 250. Well, it's okay. Do whatever you want. I'm not going to fight it anymore. I'm not going to fight human tendencies. But I think Nixie, it's time to buy Nixie. And I don't think you'll see it under $2 for very much longer. I think it's time to buy Railtown. These are my opinions. These are my ideas. These are not financial recommendations because I don't know you personally. But I think Railtown, both Nixie and Railtown are headed much higher if everything works out. Finger at 412. I actually think Finger looks strong. In my 3 scenarios, if Finger were to raise money through Roth Capital in size, perhaps I would expect, because they're not really investment bankers. They're just a pass-through for the Toad and other people like that. So it'll be at a discount. But I think it'll be very good for the company if that happens. The second scenario is that some big surprise comes in. I think that'll be very good for the company. And I think a short squeeze is unlikely over the next few weeks, but you have to be your own judge of that. I'm not saying it'll never happen, but I'm just saying. And then you got GME, everybody's excited, 32.55. Of course, if it runs, nobody's going to sell. They're going to believe that it's the beginning of the greatest short squeeze of all time. I would suggest that you have some numbers in mind, at least sell calls against GME, or just get out when it's up. The company is simply a bunch of cash per share. and game consoles. But anyway, that's also up to you. Let me just see if there's anything here. Oh, wow. 8,150 shares of Railtown at 27. That's a good deal. If that goes to 3, it's 30 grand. That's nice, right? Am I right? If it goes to 3, no, I'm wrong. It would be 24 grand. That still is great. It'd be great. I don't know where TPA is. Toilet Paper America, TPA, Tampa. I don't know. How does Railtown being dual listed in Canada? I don't know. I'm not a big fan, Big JR, of NASDAQ. I just think it's more exacting slaughterhouse than the over-the-counter market. I'm not impressed with NASDAQ. But it's a Canadian company, so I don't know if they want to be on the American exchanges. But if they were to be, I think they just go to the New York. I think it's going to be a big enough company. They'll just go to the largest exchange. How does it affect it? Railtown is a Canadian company and happens to trade on the NASDAQ, but the tail is the US market, the dog is Canada, or the moose is Canada, and the rack is in the United States. It just trades here as I guess, an accommodation for US investors. It is a Canadian stock, though. It's a Canadian stock. And I think you will see, I don't know, it's a good question. Will they just stay on the Canadian markets, or will they come down to the US markets? I don't know. I guess we'll get more information as it goes. But I expect Railtown, I mean, basically, I expect it to be $1 billion company or better. And there's no need to go on the NASDAQ. They can go immediately to the big board, I think. Wow, sold by BYON. Good. That's great. All of the China rumors are so crazy. Where does Ham get them? I mean, no, I don't know where he gets his rumors from. But I caution that rumors are just rumors. Rumors are just rumors. NASDAQ reverse split. Well, to stay on the NASDAQ or even to qualify, you have to be over $1. So they reverse split. But as you know, probably, whether you reverse split or, as it's called, forward split, it doesn't change the numbers or the value of the company. It's either more zeros or fewer zeros, and it doesn't mean anything. But if you're suggesting that Railtown will do a reverse split, no, they won't. They won't. Well, you know what? I don't know what they'll do. But if they do a reverse split, I mean, I can't imagine a reason to do it. But if they do it, it doesn't matter. They're going to be a much higher price stock. They're not going to have a problem with listing requirements. And they're not going to be shortable. There's going to be, I mean, anybody can short anything, I guess. But in my opinion, there's going to be such buying demand for the stock, the shorts are going to want to stay away. So now Railtown's 31 cents, but I still think it has 10x on it. That's my call. It's not a promise. Stony Bones would say I'm promoting it. I'm not promoting it. You make your own decision. I'm trying to share my insight for whatever it's worth. And I guess I don't know what terms legally are the best ones to use, but I guess it is in a way a recommendation because I'm calling your attention to it. But it's your decision and your thought process at the end of the day. I'm not promoting it. Promoting to me means focused on one stock and just only whatever that stock does or has is the only thing I talk about. I don't think I'm like that. Stony Bones does, but I'm just tired of arguing with anybody. 31 to 31.39. It's really interesting watching Railtown trade today. It's such a low price stock that you're not talking about a lot of money, but it seems to be trading by algorithm, which is weird. It's just weird. Yeah, that's just my opinion, Big JR. I don't know for sure. I would have told you, I guess I did tell you in November and December that I thought the company made a logical buyout candidate. But now the potential is such a big thing. Maybe they become the buyer of other companies because it's going to be pretty big. I don't know anybody that'll be able to buy them. If you think about it, it could be very big. My head is it's not pounding, but I feel like I'm not all here. So sorry for being a little out of sorts. I will go to the close, but I don't think I'll go much longer than that. Let me just see if there's any news. This is an interesting article. Let's see what they say. This is about the U.S. market. The blowout in United States yields this week, which was accentuated by yesterday's woeful 20-year auction, and it sent the 30-year yields as high as 5.15%. Guys, I remember when that was low. There's nothing wrong with 5.15. We're just so spoiled by Janet Yellen's zero. 5% is totally reasonable for a 30-year bond. The real bond shite show is in Japan. For the second day in a row, Japan's bond market is bidless. It's without a bid. Both the 30-year and 40-year yields at record highs. As the world's second biggest bond market is imploding, Bank of Japan is pretending nothing is happening. So what's going on in Japan? And why are the back-end yields skyrocketing? We go to Goldman Sachs, always a purveyor of truth. Yusuke Oshi, writes, he's the Goldman Sachs analyst, the recent sharp rise in long-end yields is primarily due to the deterioration in the supply-demand balance becoming more visible, including the shift in life insurance companies' demand and tightened duration gap, which is not going away anytime soon. The Goldman trader then suggests that to contain the ongoing meltdown in bond prices, the Ministry of Finance would consider reduction in issuance amounts for the 30-year and 40-year, or even a buyback. So, one, there's a lack of demand from life insurance companies. Two, there's fiscal concerns. Three, there's an impact of asset-intensive reinsurance. Finally, it's not just the U.S. basis trade that blew up recently. The JPY swap spread has also traded record negative amid announced asset-intensive year-end reinsurance transactions. That's what I predicted it was. Not that I understand the swap trade. Anyway, he goes on with a bunch of blabbing. It's not worth reading. Japan is the majority foreign holder of our debt. Yeah. I think by the end of it, it's going to be the Federal Reserve. I used to be taught, it's a long time ago, but my government professor, who was pretty smart guy, he always made the observation we shouldn't worry about our debt because we owe it to ourselves. Well, that's no longer true, of course. All right, I'm going to try to make it half an hour. I'm having a hard time. I didn't expect a Spanish Inquisition. Nobody expects a Spanish Inquisition. Really out of it. I apologize. Maybe it's good that I'm out of it so I don't get upset. Trying to find an article that might be interesting. There's nothing here. Let me just see. From contributors. Why gold is unappreciated as an asset class. Gold 3,000? Try 10,000. The dollar is dying and no one's ready. Well, I'm not sure it's going to all happen overnight. Oh, here's Dr. Stephen Lieb. Oh, it's a stupid video, so I can't play it for you. I'll listen to it and give you a summary. If I have any Celtic salt, put a pinch in your water to help you with your fatigue. All right. I don't have any Celtic salt. I have some other salt. I'm out of it, guys. So I'm going to try to make it through these 30 minutes, but it might be torture. I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like my brain is I don't know. I can't describe it. I hope there's not something off. I know you're going to say, of course there's something off the way you, all right, I get it. It's not a lot of news. Don't use table salt. All right. Are you out of finger? What do you mean, am I out of finger? I don't have any on my shelf, if that's what you mean. To sell you? Am I out of trying to buy finger? I don't own finger. And I think it's important for everyone to recognize the goal here is to make money. I'm not on anybody's team. I'm not trying to own the same thing that everybody else owns. But I owned a lot of finger and I got blown out. And I don't want to tell the story again. When I went to do the video that's supposedly going to help everybody win this war. Anyway, so I regret not owning finger. If I regret that I didn't buy it and I recently in January/February was saying it looked good to me, it's time to buy, and I wish I had. But I think finger, I don't know. Let's just go over finger. If finger does not squeeze, finger has a $235 million market cap It has no earnings that we know of. And it has 35 million in trailing revenue. And it's got 60 million shares roughly outstanding. That's Finger. It's gone from 110 to 510. Now it's 410. That's a pretty good move that Finger's had. So you're saying, are you out of Finger as if this is some alarming revelation? I don't own Finger. I have very limited funds, so I cannot spread them around. And I chose, I mean, it's embarrassing how few shares I have, but I think Nixie is the one to own for the short run. Oh my gosh, he's saying he's being negative on. I'm not being negative. I'm just saying for 2 to 4 weeks to 6 weeks, Nixie at $1.76 a share, market cap of 35 million. I just read you the articles. If they double their revenue, that's 3 million a month. And if you multiply it by 12, that's basically same revenue as Finger that we know about. But you want me to project. In a week, we'll have Finger's numbers, and we can talk about real numbers. But essentially, it's the same revenue. The market cap is approximately one-seventh the size of Finger's. And I think there's going to be news. Why? Because they've already announced that there's going to be news. And so what do I think Nixie can do? I think it can go to $6 in its first move, possibly to So I think Nixie in the short run can go to 3x, 5x on the money, $1.76. I'm not saying anything negative about Finger, but it's the same revenue. If Nixie just went to the same multiple as Finger, it would probably be higher than 5x from here. But if you want to just stay with the crowd in Finger, stay with the crowd in Finger. You might miss, if you're not in it, you might miss out on a squeeze. But I would suggest that Nixie over the next 4 to 6 weeks might be able to give you a triple, a 5x, a 10x even, but I think 10x is pushing it. And then you can cash out. You don't have to be in it. You don't even have to be in it at all. I don't care. And then Railtown. So I chose Nixie over Finger. Did I do the right thing? No. Because Nixie actually went down from what I paid for it, and Finger tripled, quadrupled. But it's not over with. I really wish I had purchased Finger and I were selling Finger now and buying Nixie now, but I didn't have a crystal ball. But right now, for you, if you own Finger, you've tripled or quadrupled your money maybe there's a trade. If I had it, I'd be selling some of it anyway to buy Nixie. You don't want, to me, you don't want to be all in one stock. There's times to go all in on one, but as soon as there's movement, you want to start spreading your story around just so that if something bad happens, you have something. But I don't know. It's all up to you. Railtown now is 32 cents. Amazing. So it's up 10 cents from Monday. Well, the bid on Monday was 22 cents. The ask today is 32 cents. So I might be, you could call me that I'm exaggerating that a little bit, and maybe that's true. I don't mean to. Okay, and so Railtown, it's at 32 cents now. It's a $38 million market cap. I think in the short run it can 3x to $1.20, but I actually believe it's going to 10x to $3.50. In order for Finger to 3x, it has to go basically almost to $13. In order for it to 5x, it has to go almost to $21. And in order for it to 10x, it's got to go to almost $42. That's what Finger has to do. Do you think Finger's going to do that in the next 4 weeks? I don't. But I didn't think that. I thought Finger at the beginning of the year, as I said over and over and over again, January, February, I thought Finger could double, triple, and possibly quadruple. Turns out I was right. But I thought, because I have very limited funds, I thought that Railtown at any time could do a 10x. So 10x versus 3x, it's about making money. What's the risk reward? I didn't think Finger had much risk. I don't think Rail has much risk. Don't think Nixie has much risk in the context of speculative stocks. Now, Sony Bones is going to say I'm promoting. I'm not promoting. I'm trying to tell you how I look at it. GME is moving. Go buy GME, middle ground. It's up $2. It's up 7%. It's a lot of volume, 27 million shares. You know, maybe it starts going. I don't know how you make a lot of money on that unless you already own shares. But maybe if you bought calls, you're making money on it. I hope you make money. I hope it runs. I hope it gives you massive returns. I do not believe it's going to squeeze, but it could. Anything's possible. Unfortunately, most people, I don't know, where's GME headed? $45? Colin will do a deal. Most people won't get out. It'll come back down to 24, and they'll just wait again. Many of us are glad you're on. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'll go 15 more minutes. My head, it's like behind my eyes. It's not pounding, but it's just totally disoriented. I didn't know Big JR's so young. I met him. What happened when the rate started to ease in the 80s? God, it's weird being old. What happened with the rates, under Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford, inflation started skyrocketing, and it's best represented by Gerald Ford's campaign. He put up buttons that you could wear that said WIN, whip inflation now. And that was, Jimmy Carter got blamed on it because Ronald Reagan said, well, there you go again. But Jimmy Carter appointed Paul Volcker to get inflation under control. Jimmy Carter appointed Paul Volcker, not Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan reappointed Paul Volcker, but Ronald Reagan gets the credit for that because it's revisionist history. Jimmy Carter was fiscally conservative. Ronald Reagan was not. Under Ronald Reagan, spending ballooned. It all looks puny now. And government spending under Ronald Reagan probably is what fueled all the tech stories. All those companies got started with government spending. But I don't know, somehow history has turned the story on its head. So what happened under Volcker is he raised interest rates as high as, I'm trying to remember, 21%, 22%. And yields went up there with it. They had a lot of, for mortgages, you had a lot of, what do you call those? Flexible rate mortgage? I forget what they're called. And under Ronald Reagan, there was 2 years of a very sharp recession. The Dow was never very high, but I think 83 was really a tough year. I'm trying to remember. I think it was 83. It might have been 84. But then the markets kicked in, and once Paul Volcker convinced the markets that inflation was under control, interest rates started a long trend downward from 21 or 22% to essentially zero under Joe Biden. And there was a guy, Harry Lobsher, who predicted it. I'm amazed. I wish I still had a copy of his presentation. But Volcker convinced everyone that inflation was under control, so it was under control. A lot of it's what people expect, and he did a really good job. And I don't know when rates got down to 5%. I'd say turn of the century, maybe a little later, but to me, the rates on the long bond are just so cheap. And so what happens? What happens when there's a depression? Well, do rates go up or do they go down? It's not as simple as that because there's all the other variables. But my guess is there'll be too much money and not enough goods, but also not enough demand for money. So I think rates will go down. But if people lose confidence in the dollar, you could argue that rates will go up. But what currency is going to replace the dollar? I'm just not convinced that there's another currency in the short run that can replace the dollar. So, I mean, I don't know if he's going to be right, but David Hunter is saying that the 30-year and 20-year interest rates are going to come back down. The 10-year will come down to 2%, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. When you don't have growth, you don't need high interest rates. And inflation doesn't seem to be a problem right now, at least in the energy area. Wages aren't up. I don't know. The only thing going to move fingers a mega merger. Yeah, well, performance will move it too. I bought when the stock was 25. That's good. You're a genius. You're a genius. But the chart looks terrific. I didn't look at the chart on GME. Hey, you guys are welcome to go trade GME. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but it's way overpriced. The risk on GME, particularly in a market correction, I think it'll be a $7 stock. Or a $5 stock. Account settings. There's no other person that would drive me crazy all day. Thank you, account settings. I don't know. I do try to teach, and I try to get across ideas, and I get so frustrated when, but the problem is I'm not a teacher. I haven't been trained to be a teacher. So maybe it's just that I don't know how to do it. But I hate when hours of effort are summarized by stony bones. Well, you promoted it. What else would you call it? It drives me crazy. This pithy little summary. It doesn't take in a very broad discussion that I've had. I mean, it's a one, in a lot of ways, it's a disquisition, but it's just, drives me crazy. That's not, he's not the only guy, it's just the most recent. Just the most recent. Let's see how things are going. We've only got 6 minutes and I'm going to sign out. Wow, GME is $33. Railtown is 31.5. Let me look at what Railtown's spread is. It's 31.51 to 32. And it's weird how it's trading. I mean, it's trading like they've turned on computers, which surprises me because it's a penny stock. But anyway, at least it's going up instead of down. Nixie is 174. I think that's more fatigue. I think people are tired of waiting, and to me, that's the great time to buy. The story's out there in their press releases, and I think it's very compelling AI story. So I would be a buyer of Nixie. Stony Bones will say I'm promoting it. I'm not trying to promote in my understanding of what that word means, but I am calling your attention to it. So I guess. And then Fingers 406. It's actually in the red, which is surprising. The way it traded so strongly today, 500,000 shares, as high as 438, and now they have it at 405. We'll see. I don't think we have much longer to wait for the earnings. It could be Wednesday. I don't think the earnings on Finger are going to be positive. Not for the year, they won't. But I don't even think it'll be for the fourth quarter. It won't be a big number either way. Plus or minus zero. It's not going to be a big number. But I would bet publishing them on Friday would be a good idea. And then you know more about GME than I do. G-Bucks is down 40 cents at 270. I'm encouraged by the fact. Remember, I was talking it out and then I got confused. But I said if I were the company, I'd delay the dividend. And then you guys told me they did delay it. I take that as really positive news that they're trying to get that big deal completed. And I think that would have a huge impact on the price of G-Bucks' stock price. Anyway, those are the stocks, and we've got 2 minutes to go. Let's just see if there's any news. I don't want to say my head is pounding, but it's just, pressure. I guess it's called pressure. Oracle is going to buy $40 billion worth of NVIDIA chips. Wow. 6 signs that the housing market depression in the United States is getting worse. 1, sales of previously owned homes just fell again. 2, sales of previously owned homes are falling even though active listings and new listings are rising. 3, most potential young home buyers are dying of myocarditis. It doesn't say that. Most potential young home buyers have been completely forced out of the market. 4, the median age of first-time buyers is spiking. 5, Zillow is reporting that home values have fallen in 27 states so far this year. And number 6, mass layoffs. Home prices are way too high, and so are rental prices. All right, 459. Are you out of your mind? 459. Let's see how Finger closes. Let's see how Nixie closes. Looks like the green today in our little universe are GME, which this gentleman has recommended. I'm not trying to get anybody. He's just called people's attention to it. Stony Bones would call it promotional. Whatever. But GME is green, Railtown was green, but now I don't think it trades in the aftermarket once it closes. And it closed up 16% at basically 32 cents. Not bad. Finger motion closed at 408, and it's down 2 cents. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Came for the money, stayed for the revolution. Number nine. You say you want a revolution. Well, you know. I purchased 100,000. Well, wait a minute. Bill Michael, another big buyer. I purchased 100,000 of RLAIF a week ago. Woo, 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 woo. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you bought 100,000, let's say a week ago. So maybe you paid 25 cents. So you put in 25 grand if it goes to $1. That's a nice trade if it goes to $1. What if it goes to $1.20, $1.25? Then you make 100 grand. That's nice. A hunch is a good number. I had a manager that told me once you make $100,000, your life changes. Well, he didn't put in there, don't fall in love with a woman. I bought GME at 25 and it's now 33. So that's a similar percentage move as Railtown. So good for you. And it's a good lesson because you probably didn't buy very many shares. You didn't buy 100,000 shares, but it's whatever the amount of money is, it's the same move. So congratulations. Everyone is up GME because they believe he will bring back Bed Bath and Beyond from bankruptcy. Whatever. People believe the funniest things. Maybe it'll work. Would you want to be launching Bed Bath and Beyond while some analysts call what's going on in the United States retail apocalypse? I don't know. Make sure I hydrate myself. I'll be talking to myself because nobody's home. Finger is 410. Up 2. Pretty good. Railtown's not trading, but I think that's because it doesn't. Well, it's good. It was a good week for everybody. All right, I think I'm going to sign off because my head is just, it's like it's congested. It's like full of cotton or something, but it's pressured against my, anyway. You don't need to hear all of that, but I'm out of it. So I'm going to sign off and wish everybody a good Friday. Tomorrow, 9 a.m., if you can stand it, get up and watch Novak Djokovic take on Herbie Hurkacz. I don't know how old Herbie is, 23, 24, and Joker is 38. It'd be pretty cool. I hope he wins. I think it's going to be tough for him, but I hope he wins. Anyway, peace to everybody. Prayers to the diplomats that got killed here in D.C. Terrible. And prayers for all the children that are about to expire from hunger. Rumored to be something like 13,000 children are about to die from not having food in a world where there's plenty of food. But anyway, we'll get back together. Maybe it'll be Tuesday, but maybe it'll be over the weekend. So cheers.